midst of every situation like that, His Word promises you that there is no temptation that comes to you that God will not provide for you an opportunity to escape. Aren't you glad and aren't you thankful that in the midst of attacks of the enemy, somewhere there's a trap door, somewhere there's an open door or an open window, somewhere along the way God's made a split, a partition in the trouble to allow you to slide right on through into victory. Is anybody with me today? Oh, hallelujah. And here came fire raining down out of the sky upon Sodom and Gomorrah. And God had made a way for Lot and Lot's wife and their daughters to escape. And though her feet were moving in one direction, her heart held on to something else. And it didn't take long till what was in her was revealed on the outside of her. She didn't have a love for God's deliverance. She didn't have a love for what God wanted to do with her and her family. She didn't have a love for the deliverance God was providing. Am I preaching to anybody here today, or am I all by myself? She had a love for that mess God was trying to deliver her from. She had a love for all of that perversion and all of that sin and all of that disgusting garbage that God was trying to separate her from. But eventually, what she loved in her heart grabbed the attention of her eyes, and turn and look she did. And my friends, it was the last thing she ever did. I've come to tell somebody today, when God's trying to make a way of escape for you, oh, and you've got to understand, He loves you enough to make a way of escape for you. Is anybody with me today? He loves you enough to give you chance after chance after chance. He loves you enough to give you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to separate yourself. I know sometimes it hurts. I know sometimes it means a cutting of relationships. You think Lot's wife didn't have any relationships back there in those twin cities of sin? Oh, I'm sure she did. And she chose to love them more than she chose to love the delivering hand of God. Oh, my friends, but God is merciful. God is gracious, and He'll give you opportunity after opportunity, chance after chance, time and time again, to experience a way out that could only come by His hand and only come by His making. Aren't you glad that God can make a way even in the midst of the most impossible of situations? And there she was, holding on to the past. God made a way of escape, but her heart yearned and longed to hold on to what was familiar and to hold on to what seemed comfortable and hold on to the people that she'd learned to live with all those years. She couldn't separate herself from everything God said. If you just let me cut the ties, I've got a blessing for you just a little further ahead. If you get your eyes off the mess, if you quit looking back, and if you keep moving forward, I've got a blessing your mind has never been able to conjure up or conceive in your spirit. I wonder if I'm in the house today with anybody that's ready for some staggering, overtaking, overwhelming blessings.